Hey, it's Mama from Mama and Kids Reactions. We're going to do another state of mind. This one's entitled Sexual Assault. Now, this one's probably going to be a bit tough for some of you. It's a little tough. It's tough for me because I am actually a victim of rape by two different men. The first one, I was 18. It was an uncle by marriage. I had been young and dumb and wrote a bunch of bad checks for a guy because I was stupid and ended up going to jail. Well, he paid my bill, and his repayment in his mind was for me to have sex with him. I didn't agree. And then the second one was a little less obvious. It was my ex. I didn't know at the time that it was still considered rape in a relationship when you didn't want to and they went ahead and forced you to pretty much do it anyway. And I didn't even realize that until after the relationship was over and I was still kind of healing from everything. So this one's really going to hit home with me, but I know it's going to be worth watching it. Maurice, you're an amazing person. And so become part of Mama's family. Like, comment, subscribe, click on that notification bell. Patreon, Twitter, Instagram, the email, along with the donation tip jar is all in the description below if you want to check it out. Follow us. We'll follow you back. If you want to holler at us back. We'll holler back. Just, that's it. Let's go.
We are another state of mind, but before I get into or before you watch State of Mind, I need to get into something, which is I was putting it all up, putting it together, making it look, nice, and Melissa, a friend of mine, sent me an article, and the article said Daisy, of Audrey and Daisy, 23 years old, has committed suicide. And my state of mind was about that documentary, mainly, and how well she was doing by the end of the documentary. So just know that I didn't know that she had committed suicide, and it just happened, I guess, this month. And next week, I'd like to do a whole state of mind on suicide. Okay?
That'll be a good one.
Okay. Now you can see the state of mind I did. All right, here we are, another state of mind. What I want to talk to you about today is something that is pretty much out of the box for me, and sometimes I do that. I know this is state of mind, mental illness, mental health, but sometimes I see something happens to me, and I'm passionate about it, and I want to talk about it. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So I saw two documentaries on rape, and they're both similar but different, and I want to talk about it. The first one's called Daisy and Audrey, and it's about Daisy, the first story. She's 14 years old, sweet girl, and her friend, who's 14 and a half or whatever it was, and they were drinking at their house, and this boy, who was about 16, 17, calls her and says, "You want to come over? We have some people over here and whatnot." So they get picked up by these boys. If it were my daughter,
Yeah,
I won't
they're
get into it.
no.
So they go there, and there's like 5 guys there, 5 boys, 16, 17. These girls are 14, and they start giving the girls tequila shots. So the girls had already
Douchebags.
been drinking already, so now they have tequila shots. So they pass out. The girls pass out.
Naturally. Like they wanted.
And consequently, they were raped. Now, of course, these boys were star, athletes or whatever, and
For one thing, I ended up crying probably.
but the girls, they left one girl. They drove them back to her house, and they left her on the front lawn, and it was freezing, and the girl had marks on her and everything. It was just terrible. So it pretty much, you don't want to say ruined their lives, but it sure put
A wrench in it.
it sure wasn't easy for them after that. And of course, the boys got off with a slap on the wrist.
Naturally.
And when I was watching it, I was like, that's when I started getting, like, I gotta speak about this because it's just, I've been talking about this for a long time. Okay, so, but by the end of the documentary, Daisy went to get help. And because they have a lot of places you can go and speak, and they help you
True.
and everything. And now she's helping other girls that have been raped, and so it was nice, and that was great. Now the other girl, Audrey, same kind of thing. It's the same in the same documentary. She's at a party, drinking with boys. And she's just so drunk that she just falls down. They pick her up, they bring her upstairs, and they take a marker and they mark her face and they mark her all over her body, take her clothes off. And then she was violated.
Never go to a party alone.
Okay, so what happens is the girl feels at school like she's bullied. Now they're calling her names. As you can imagine, terrible names and things. And she can't take it. So her mother comes home one day, goes into her room. She's not answering. Goes in and she hangs herself.
No child should have to feel like they should commit suicide.
Obviously,
Ever.
she couldn't take it. She was depressed, mentally, couldn't take the abuse, and of course, those boys got a slap on the wrist.
Naturally.
I'm getting angry just talking about it. All right, now I'm going to show. There are two sides to every coin. So I'm going to show
Sure.
you the other side of this one documentary called Crying Out on HBO, where there's a really, nice kid, good-looking kid, star football player. He gets accused of molesting a little boy. And you're watching this thing and you don't know where it's going. You don't know if he did it. I didn't think he did it because he was just like, gut feeling. So they convict him and he does 10 years in prison. And he didn't do it.
Happens, sadly.
So, now here we are where he didn't do it in his life. Although he got out of prison, and I'm sure he's a smart kid, he's going to do well and a good kid. But he had to spend 10 years in prison.
Rough.
Whew. All right, so um, it's just really, really kind of, I read somewhere like in 1,000 rapes, only 6 people get convicted and go to prison.
True.
And over 90% of women that get raped, it goes unnoticed because they don't want to go through. Most of the time, if you're a woman and you get raped, they're not going to convict the guy. So why would you have to go through all this trouble?
Or you're not going to be believed.
Of going to the hospital, taking your clothes off, they check you all over, and then going to court against the guy. And I tell you what, rapists are running around going, hey, this is great.
Mm-hmm.
My chances of getting caught are slim. Why not, do what I got to do and this and that. Now, you're probably going, well, what do we do? Look, I'm not I'm only a soap actor.
He's more than that.
And a New York Times bestseller author now.
Yeah, nothing general about it.
I think the beginning of change is awareness. And I hope, and it's the same thing with mental illness. Same thing with mental illness.
The more you talk about it.
With what's going on with Black Lives Matter, with Me Too, if only a rapist or a bad cop thinks twice because of the commotion of Black Lives Matter and Me Too, if you just have to think twice, they may not do it. But can you imagine how difficult it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago?
Way worse.
All right. I'm kind of done because this took a little bit out of me. I didn't want to get this, angry, but talking about this makes me real angry. And
shows how much of a good man he is.
Let's do it again next week. I think the next thing I want to talk about is stigma.
Be a good one.
Thank you guys for everything, seriously. All right, bye.
All right, that was Maurice Bernard with sexual assault. And at the end of it, he says, if you or someone you know is struggling with suicidal thoughts, call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 800-273-TALK, which is 800-273-8255. You can also reach out to the Crisis Text Line, a free 24/7 confidential text messaging service that provides support to people in crisis. They text 741-741. So if y'all need that, there you go. I have 3 daughters and 1 son. My daughters, the older ones, have asked me about, because kids are going to go to parties. Teenagers, they are. So, instead of saying, no, you're never going to one, and they sneak off to one somehow, because that's what teenagers will do, I've said, okay, 1, you never go alone. You go with a trusted friend, somebody that you know will not leave you. 2, do not accept a drink from anybody. Get your own, always. 3, if you start to feel fuzzy and really weird, go to a bathroom, lock it, call me. I will come get you. 4, if your friend leaves you and you're alone, go to the bathroom, call me immediately. 4 rules to parties. Now, they're not old enough yet. I mean, my oldest one's a teenager, but she's not enough of a teenager. She's not even in high school yet. So, but it is something that we have already talked about. Now, my son. I love my son more than life itself. And I will always love my son. But if he hurts a young woman, he will have heck to pay with me. I will still love him. Nothing will ever stop I will never stop loving my children. I don't care what they do. I may not agree with it. I may not like it. It may hurt me. I won't stop loving them. But that doesn't mean there won't be heck to pay. So, just wanted to put that out there. Those are good rules to go by. Okay, if you're young and if you're watching this, good rules to go by. And what he said about when you are raped, you don't report it. I didn't. I didn't tell anybody about my uncle until a long time later. And then my aunt divorced him. But then I got blamed. And it come out later that he had molested 2 of my uncles. 2 of my uncles. And they was like, oh, well, he's sorry for that. Because they were kids. But because I was 18, I was a homewrecker, and it was all my fault. So, yeah, that's when things started going downhill for me in my life. And then with my ex, sorry, like I said, I didn't realize it was rape till afterwards. And then after that, I figured, what the point? I mean, nobody's going to believe me. They didn't believe me before. Except for my family. My mom and my dad and my sister. So, I just struggled with it alone. Like I've done most things. Which is why I got in such a depressive state. Like everything came piling back on me. With my bipolar 2, it just blew up. Okay, well, I guess that's enough of this video. Again, I want to read to you what he put at the end of his video. If you or someone you know is struggling with suicidal thoughts, call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 800-273-TALK or at 800-273-8255. You can also reach out to the Crisis Text Line, a free 24/7 confidential text messaging service that provides support to people in crisis when they text 741-741. Okay? Please, if you need the help, use this. Okay? Hope y'all enjoyed this video. Till next time. Bye.